Yeah, how's it going, boys? Just before we get in the video, I'd like to mention if you guys join the server through my referral link, we both get extra rewards from just playing the game. So when you play the game, I'll get some nice rewards. When you vote, I'll get some nice bond rewards. I'll put on screen some rewards that we can both get. The referral link will be at the top of the description. I'll post like 3 times so you guys can see it.
Right, also, I just want to give a big shout out to this guy Impatience. He's letting me use his guide to sort of make this guide video as well. But if you want to watch, see a written form of this guy's made a proper, really good skilling guide. On each skill, it goes into depth. But my video is basically going to be based around that and using some ideas from that. But if you want a written guide, you guys can go over to the Discord, go over to community guides, type skilling, and you'll see Ultimate Skilling Guide from Impatience. And that'll be there for you, which I'll link the Discord in the description. Right, first thing I'm going to go over is perks. I think as a must, I'm going to say you should have all these perks. I think it's a must. It'll speed your shit up by like so much. So productive experience. I think these are just nice basic 10% XP. You can see unqualified gatherer and unqualified producer. Those are pretty nice to have as well because they lower the required level skill by 10 for all these skills. So you could mine whatever like rune at like 80 instead of 90, for example. Phantom Harvest is so important for hunter and farming. This is important for runecrafting, and this is pretty much important for almost a lot of them, like crafting, fletching. It'll be really useful. But yeah, those are the perks I'm instantly going to say you should have pretty much all of them. And you can flick between them when you're doing specific skills. For example, if you're doing farming and hunter, you'll be using Phantom Harvest. But yeah, another thing I want to mention is skilling pets. These pets could be unlocked while doing skill. I don't know what the odds are. I think it's 1 in 10k or maybe 1 in 1k. But while you're doing skilling, you can unlock some of these pets that'll give you bonus. I already have 4. I've maxed twice or 3 times maybe. So this like provides a 20% chance to catch double fish. Grants a 20% chance to steal double the loot. So on and so on. So these are all the different pets you can obtain while skilling. So as soon as you get them, you want to obtain it. Put them on the skill you're doing. So make sure you have it active whenever you get them. Again, another thing I'm going to quickly mention is Tears of Guthix. You got to do this every single day. It's every 12 hours as well, actually. So you can do this twice a day. It's a must. It'll give you like your lowest XP skill. It will give XP to that. And if you're like base level 50 for everything, you'll get about like 800k XP on it as a 10x. I think if you're 50x, you get even more. So yeah, it's going to give you a lot of XP on your lobby skills, so make sure you do that. Also, I'm going to instantly put on the screen what you should use your small XP lamps on, or medium XP, whatever you want, on these specific skills to help you kickstart them. I would literally just try to get small XP lamps. They're so easy to get. I think you can buy them from Vote Shop for like 2 vote points anyways. So get them and put them on these skills that I'm showing on the screen. So they'll hella speed shit up for you. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, I'll start with whatever the best route I think is. So I think going for gathering skills is the best. Why? Because it's the easiest thing to do. Right away, if you're on a 10x, if you prestige gathering, these are skills you can basically do without any supplies. You don't really need supplies to go do woodcutting, mining, thieving, fishing, or agility. For these, you do need a bit, but it's very easy to get. I'll show you how to get them easily. So yeah, I would first try to max out gathering if you're on a 10x, get Sage's Greaves, and let Sage's Greaves do the rest. If you don't know, Sage's Greaves basically gives you gives XP to your lowest skill every 10 steps while sworn. So I'm 98 right now on my lowest level. I'll get 980 XP per 10 steps. Meaning if you were level 50, you'd get 500. If you were level 10, you'd get 100. If you were level 5, you get 50, for example. It keeps going on like that. So instantly I'd try go for Sage's Greaves. So I'm going to show you the gathering skills. I'm also going to show you the production skills as well. But I'll also tell you how you can also pair some of the skills. But yeah, let's get into it. So let's begin with mining. The 2 perks you can easily put on with these is Collector's Blessing and Furnace Fingers. This is gonna 30% chance to smelt ores into bars. Of course, it doesn't work with Infernal Pickaxe because that's what he already does. And Collector's Blessing, which is a 20% chance to complete 2 actions while training gathering skills. But yeah, so complete mining guide. I'll put on screen right now some of the ores that you should be going for. So you start off with tin, go to iron, go to coal, go to gold, then go to Mithril and you do Mithril to 99. There's also a different alternative route you could do, and that's going to mine Essence. I'll also put that on the screen. Shout out to, again, Impatience for making this a lot more easy for me. Essence is another way you can mine if you want to sort of end up going down the Runecrafting route, which is a bit annoying to go get the Rune Essence anyways, but you will need ores for smithing anyways, so I think it is kind of good to just focus on the mithril ores and go for that till 99, but it is kind of up to you. But yeah, so for mining, that is basically the most simplest guide I can say. So next one is agility. Again, perks you should have for this is Unqualified Gatherer. It lowers the requirements by 10. And I'll put on screen the courses you'll be doing. Again, for agility, this is just a straightforward one. Yeah, agility is just one of them skills that you kind of just got to do. It's a bit boring, but I don't think it's too long. Especially if you can use Unqualified Gatherer, you can get to Colo Jungle course at level 65, which is pretty nice. Right, fishing. This is one of the paired skills I was talking about. So again, fishing and cooking, they come together. So fishing will complete your cooking. Simple as that. But for perks wise, again, it's Unqualified Gatherer is the only one you really need. But yeah, again, I'll put on screen, the full guide of how to do it. I think fastest XP is Monkfish, but I think it helps. So sharks help with cooking XP, but it'll also lower your fishing XP, if that makes any sense. So monkfish is the best for purely fishing XP, but shark is the best for pairing it with cooking. So I would say sharks is the best if you have an infernal harpoon. If not, stick with monkfish. Do monkfish from 62 if you have the perk, 52 to 99, and then just cook them. And yeah, so those two basically come together. So that's knocking off two at once, so that's pretty nice. Also for cooking, I guess the best perks you can use for this is, of course, this one, which stops you from burning food, an unqualified producer. Again, you can get some nice bonus XP from these type of ones as well for cooking. But also production specialist will help speed up the whole inventory. If you also have $250 donated, you can also use noted food on the furnace, so that will hella speed your shit up as well. So thieving, again, Unqualified Gatherer is the only perk that's really going to help you with this. So for this one, I'll also show you the stalls. So I'll put them on screen quickly so you can take a pause. So the bakery stall is over here, toy stalls over here at home, clothing stalls over there, jewelry stores over there, and finally the beer stall is over there. Again, Unqualified Gatherer with hella speed this shit up because, like for example, you jump on the beer stall at level 80, you'll jump on the jewelry stall at level 60, so it's gonna hella keep it nice and quick for you. But yeah, thieving's again, it's just like agility, you just sort of do it. But I think it is the quickest skill in the game. I remember doing this; it was super quick. But yeah. Right, next one, Woodcutting, Unqualified Gatherer, instant one you want on again. Again, it's really important to have that. Right, this is another one of those skills that I said pairs, but it almost triples as well. So again, woodcutting, it sort of goes with fletching and it also goes with the firemaking. So it's almost like these triple, they're all sort of together. So you do woodcutting and you'd use logs for fletching and for firemaking. So yeah, again, they kind of pair all together. But yeah, again, I'll put on screen the exact woodcutting guide for the fastest XP. Yeah, so if you follow those that exact route, you should be able to get woodcutting done pretty quick. Also, again, then you can go use those logs for fletching and fire making. Also, if you want a quick way, I got a lot of logs like this, which will also just down the line help with fire making and fletching. These well bosses, Selim, Strata, Cryoth, and Guardian Phoenix, they spawn every like 2 hours, right? Yes, the next one's in 1 hour 19. They drop like 100 to 200 magic logs. I think they drop some other logs as well. But yeah, so they drop some nice stuff. They'll of course get you some nice fire making and fletching, but I guess that's for down the line. Also, perks you're going to use for fire making and fletching, production specialist. This really speeds up a lot of especially firemaking in particular. It will basically complete the whole inventory at a 5% chance. It speeds up by a lot, so it'll do the whole inventory sometimes, which really gives you like a lot of XP. So yeah, again, production specialist for those two will speed your shit up. Right, the next two, farming and hunter. I'll show you the complete guide on exactly how to do this, because it is a bit different and the quickest possible way to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do birdhouse runs and farming trips, and you sort of alternate between them because they have 5-minute timers and 6-minute timers. So you're doing them both at a constant speed. So instantly you're going to need Phantom Harvest for this. Yeah, if you don't have this, don't even bother doing it. I can't lie. You need this shit. It's so OP. It's going to save you so much time and so much supplies. So yeah. So again, you should have used your XP lamps on both of these. So I don't know what level they should be. So I'll also put on screen skilling guide for it. So level guides for each one. But I'm going to show you a bit of my own route as well. So his guide shows mainly to go through trees. Now that's a way you can do it because I would plant trees anyways. Like if I can, I'd plant yew trees, I'd plant magic trees, I'd plant dragon fruit trees at the farm patches because they will give you a lot of XP but over a longer time. But if you want to get it done right now, toad flax is probably the best way. Why? Because from getting from 28 to 75, you want to also get toad flax for Herblore. It's going to save you so much time in Herblore. You're going to need to make sourdough and brews for Herb, because Herb is really slow. Personally, when I was doing Herb, I used a lot of tiers of guthix to level it up, but toad flax really helped me as well because that's what you're going to mainly use as your main source of XP. You're going to use toad flax. Now, once you're at level 75, you're going to use Tortsil, and here is where you're going to start doing the birdhouse runs and the farming trips at the same time. So quickly before we get into the birdhouse and hunter trip guide, you guys can see the required levels for each birdhouse and what logs you're going to need. So you guys can quickly pause that and keep that for later. Again, you're going to need logs for this just to make them, but they're not that hard to make. I can also show you how to make them. So to make birdhouses, you need to use your logs onto the clockwork, which you can get from this shop down here. So you just use and then you can make some of these birdhouses like that. You need a hammer, chisel, clockworks, and then the log. You can buy them from here, you can steal them from the stall. I think they're 50k each from the shop. So yeah. So now we'll move on how to do the farming and hunter trip. Let's get straight to it. So you go to home, you click build space, so use your seeds on there. And then once you've done that, you'll go to the next place. So then we'll go to Sawburrow, which is the next birdhouse area. You'll run down here. Oh, I already actually have one here. I didn't recognize. So you'd plant your seeds. You know what to do. There we go. See how my Phantom Harvest already planted it. So that's already done that for me. It sent everything to my bank. That's why Phantom Harvest is really, really important. Then the next one is Seabright. We'll go over there. Again, you'd go there to the birdhouse, do the exact same thing, and then finally you'll go over to Oakrest. And when you're at Oakrest, I like to go collect the herb. So this is one of the herb patches that you plant at. So of course you'll have a thing like already planted here because now you know what to do. But see again, Phantom Harvest automatically planted them for me, and then you go down here, collect the last birdhouse, and then I'd go back to home. Of course, you'd plant it if Phantom Harvest didn't work because it's only a 35% chance. Then you'd go back home, and then you'd go to farming and skilling teleports, and you go to all the herb patches. So we've already done Oakrest, of course. So we'll go to Seabright, pick the herbs from here. Then we'd go back to the TP, go to Oasis, pick the herbs from here, and then finally we'll go to home. If you want, you can rebank it and everything. And then just this home patch over here, you'll go pick your final herbs and plant them again. So that's how to do the full trip. Of course, you need everything I've got into my inventory. So I already saved it as a preset. I can show you the preset right now in my bank, which is just this one over here. So wait, let me click on it again. So this is the full preset I've got on. Of course, you don't need a Fury and Whip and stuff, but I was using that for vote bosses. So I have the full hunter set. You don't need the farming set. I don't know why I got it. I thought it gave it bonus XP, but it doesn't. Of course, you need some seeds and you need the birdhouse, which you'd already have built. And then just have some seeds just in case the Phantom Harvest doesn't work on the farming patch. But when it comes to the farming patch, each seed you pick is a 35% chance. So you're going to pick about 10 seeds. So you've got a 35% chance each seed you pick. So it's a pretty much guaranteed that it's going to use the Phantom Harvest perk for them. So yeah, after you've done it once, again, there's a little timer on it. But once the time is finished, you can just collect, repeat. and do the same thing over and over again. You might have to wait like 1 to 2 minutes. And if you want to be efficient with those waiting times, you could go do like another skill like fletching or crafting or something like that. But yeah, that's mainly how you basically do birdhouse and farming runs at the same time. So that takes both of them off. So that ticks off all the gathering skills. So now, if you have done all of them, you got them to 99. And if you really want, you could go prestige down, go get Sage's Grieve instantly and not even worry about production. But, anyways, I'll show you more of the production skills now and some of the skills that I haven't talked about. Because I've already talked about cooking and firemaking and fletching. So I'll show you more of the skills that I haven't talked about now. So for smithing, I think the quickest way, if you don't have dart tips, is through gold ores. So you go to Blast Furnace, um, and you can buy gold ores from this guy over here, which you can buy 1.5k, 1,500 coins each, so they're pretty cheap. If not, you should have some in your bank maybe. You literally just put them on the conveyor belt. This will make you some gold ores. I want to see how much XP is. 7.5k XP per inventory. Then you take them and you literally repeat that constantly. Of course, you can last preset. I don't have a preset saved for it. But if you do have dart tips, I'll get onto that. Now, if you want to help yourself with also fletching XP, you can make dart tips just like I mentioned. So you could get runite bars or whatever bars level. I'll put it on screen anyways. Then you make some dart tips using this. This will level up your crafting, but it'll also level up your smithing when you get a bunch of dart tips. So I would prefer probably doing it through gold bars because you probably don't even have that much bars. But it depends what route you went down, to be honest. But yeah, that's how exactly I would probably level up smithing. So the next skill I'm going to go on to is a skill I strongly recommend you get through Tears of Guthix. It's a very slow skill and you need a lot of supplies for it, so it'll just take a long time. For this, you'll probably need the Unqualified Producer perk, which lowers the levels by 10. So to start off with, you should have leveled Herblore probably to about 38 using XP lamps, or you could have even leveled it up a bit higher. I would recommend you level it a bit higher through XP lamps, but if you haven't anyways, you'd start off by making prayer potions at level 38, so you need runal weed and snape grass for that. Then you do all the way till 63 where you can make super restores using snapdragon and red spider eggs, and then after that sourdough and brew is your best chance. Now, toad flax and crushed bird nest, that's why I mentioned in the farming trip you could set an alternative route where you plant 2 of the herb patches toad flax and then 2 as the highest skill that requirement for your farming XP. So you farm toad flax that way, and also while you're doing birdhouse, you get bird nest anyway, so you're going to crush them, which means you'll get a bunch of toad flax and crushed bird nests. That way you can level up and get a bunch of sourdough and brews. But if you haven't gone through that route, then it's probably going to be really hard to level up. So toad flax and crushed bird nest is probably your best way till 99 after 81. Right, another very easy skill, I think one of the easiest in the game. Crafting, it's so self-explanatory. I'll just post the levels that you need for crafting. But basically, unqualified producer, of course, lowers the levels. I think you should get a lot of crafting supplies, especially if you have 10x through gemstone crab. But apart from that, I don't understand how you'd probably get, to be honest, most of these supplies. Maybe just from raiding or normal stuff in the game. But mainly, I think this is just self-explanatory. There's not really much to say for this one. But yeah, another really, really annoying skill, and probably the last one I'll talk about now, Runecrafting. Again, another one I'd say highly recommend you that you level this up through Tears of Guthix because it is very hard to get the supplies. But pure essence, you're going to need a lot of them. I'll put on screen again the levels, of course, that you need. I'll also show you a couple tips for this. So if you teleport to abyssal demons, you can kill these little like abyssal walker guardians and stuff. And what they do is they drop these pouches. So when you get a small pouch, you'll then be able to get a medium pouch, a large pouch, and a giant pouch. They all come in order. And when you get all these pouches, you'll be able to get something called a colossal pouch, which will it basically lets you fill up the pure essence all inside this. Also, I did forget to mention the perks you need. So this one is a must need because it increases the yield of runes inside of this by 50%. Also, it instantly crafts all the essence inside the pouches. so you don't need to take them out and then recraft them. And I'll also show you a quick route. So this is how I did mine. I can't remember. I think there is a quicker way, but this is how I did mine. So you get runes for North Fort Teleport, which is Fire and Law. Then you'd go basically get this exact preset. These do give extra XP. Then you'd fill last preset, fill last preset, and then teleport to the Wrath, or whatever talisman you need for your level. Put it all in. That's 10k. Teleport back to North Fort, and then last preset, fill, last preset, fill, and then just repeat it all over again. So yeah, that's a complete guide. I also forgot to mention that these sets in the achievement shop at home give you extra bonuses. I actually don't know if they all do. You'd have to confirm with staff. I can't remember how much like they actually give, but they do give. I know like the angles, for example. This is for prayer. This is for runecrafting. They all give a bonus XP. So yeah, that's pretty nice. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's a full guide on how to get 99. And I hope it does help some of you. But yeah, so if this guide did help you, make sure you guys go over to my Kick, make sure you follow, make sure you sub here as well, like the video, you know what I mean. I'm live on Kick a lot. You guys can check out my hardcore content on there. Hopefully I'll be posting more guides. But anyways, have a good rest of your day. I hope this guide supported a lot of you, and I hope you guys can max. Take it easy, boys.